Alrighty, I have finished testing with this magazine. I've depleted all of my 9mm ammunition and recently put about, I want to say damn near about 250 rounds recently through it just to make sure that it works. I don't think it was 10 full reloads, but it was 30 rounds each time. I don't have an exact count. This thing probably has something like 500 or 700 rounds through it, just this magazine. It's the only 30 rounder I have. Now with all that said, do I recommend it or not? Yes, I do. The one bad day I gave it, it never had another one. Not just getting rid of it because it had one bad day was smart, and I think it's a quality product, and if you need a 30 round magazine, this is what I'm going to point you towards. There are other extensions out there that are probably a little more streamlined and user friendly, but this magazine works, and I like it because it has considerations in it for inserting it into a standard P30 or VP9. You know, you're not going to have an over insertion problem or anything like that, and it just works. It's also nice to be able to pull the trigger 30 times, and for those of you that don't want to invest in a whole nother platform just to have 30 rounds on tap, then that's not a bad gig. I will say it's very, very limited application. It's more of a toy. What I will say is you can have it as a reload. This magazine's super intuitive and easy to reload on the fly. I've noticed that it's easier than these magazines here, and it kind of spoils me because you can just grab it like beer can grab it like an AR and just ram it in there, which is great. For the sake of brevity, I'm not going to put all of the video footage that I have of this running, because there are people that will complain, but there's also people that are going to complain about me not putting all the video footage in to show you that I've run all those rounds. So I'm going to split the difference and do what I want. Now, I'm going to show you a few particulars, and then we can get out of here. I'm going to load it real quick. Loading it's very easy until you get towards the end. I'm going to chop around, so don't get too upset. Halfway point here, 15 rounds in the magazine, and it looks like any other 15 round magazine completely loaded to 15 rounds. Now watch this gap here. This is the only thing I don't like about the magazine, but it doesn't seem to affect function, so I'm okay with it. But once you see this get closer to capacity, you're going to see that open up a little bit, and you'll see what I mean here shortly. So yeah, you can see the rounds there. It's only a millimeter or two greater than it was without the full capacity, but what I will say is it's noticeable, but does it change anything? I don't think so. You'll also notice that it's going to be super hard to see. You can kind of see the last primer in there. When you load it to 30, you'll see something there. It will not take 31 rounds. And the second you see brass there, you're loaded to capacity. So I like this witness hole. It's very nice if you're loading from a larger, you know, there's more than 30 rounds on the table, or you're loading from a bin or something. Makes it easy. Overall, I like it, and it'll seat just fine with 30 rounds. So I like that. It inserts and ejects perfectly. Had zero issues. I didn't drop it too much, but I did drop it on the deck a few times, and it still works. So overall, very happy. Very viable option for those that want 30 rounds on tap. Personally, I wouldn't own more than 5 or 10 of these, but it's reliable enough to own that many. And for my 30 round option, this is going to be it. So do with this what you will. I will say all of my reservations about it have passed, and it has run in all of my P30s and the VP9. So In closing, you'll see slide lock. I'm just going to show 5 rounds in slide lock, and it locks the slide open every single time. Never had a failure to lock back, and just had that one bad day with it, and it was one magazine. And I will say, if you don't load it perfectly, and I mean make sure you slide the rounds all the way to the rear when loading it, it'll probably cause the issue that I ran into. So I'm guessing a few rounds were not quite where they were supposed to be, which caused the jam. So that's what happened. For all those that were waiting out there patiently, it gets my stamp of approval, and I'm happy that I own it, and you're going to see more in the future. And I'll get into later what applications it has realistically. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other, stay safe, and support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
I can feel it. Ugh. Ugh. So, I get